My name is Imani Oakley. I am the Northern Vice Chairperson for Progressive Democrats of New Jersey. And over the past couple of weeks, various organizations, as well as news sources, as well as TV shows, have been discussing a pretty turbulent and contentious issue in New Jersey, and that's the issue of New Jersey's ballot line. New Jersey has a unique ballot system that's different from any other state in the United States. We do something called bracketing, which requires candidates to find a whole line of candidates either beneath them or above them to run on the same line in order for them to get prime placement on our ballot. And what that does is it really, really confuses voters. Voters look at the ballot and they don't know whether they can vote for more than one person. They don't know whether they just have to go down the line if they pick the person at the top. Voters also are tricked into thinking that some candidates might actually be better representatives than others simply because they sit on a certain place on our ballot. Also, progressive candidates or candidates who simply are not willing to do kind of the things that certain folks in the political elite ask them to do are often shoved way, way down, either at the bottom of the ballot if your ballot goes horizontally, or all the way to the right if your ballot goes vertically. And this simply is not good for democracy. We need ballot bubbles in New Jersey. And so today, a lawsuit was filed in the United States Court for the District of New Jersey, challenging the constitutionality of New Jersey's ballot line. The suit alleges that the layout of the primary ballots in New Jersey are unconstitutional and violate the First and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, as well as the corresponding provisions of the New Jersey State Constitution. This suit was brought by Brett M. Pugash, ESQ, and Yael Bromberg, ESQ, of Bromberg Law, LLC, on behalf of Christine Conforti, a candidate running in New Jersey's 4th Congressional District. Initial funding for this suit was provided by the New Jersey Progressive Legal Defense Fund, a 501c3 affiliated with Progressive Democrats of New Jersey. So the format of this is going to go as such. I'm going to introduce Brett, who is going to make a statement about the lawsuit, and then we're going to open it up for some questions that Brett can answer if he can. So Brett, at this time, I'm going to open it up to you and anything you have to say about the lawsuit.
Thanks, Imani. So as Imani mentioned, today a case was filed in Federal District Court, and it's captioned Conforti versus Hanlon, and it challenges state laws that enable the county line bracketing system that we have in New Jersey. New Jersey's primary election ballots have become weaponized, and they've been used to give a ballot advantage to certain favored candidates over others. And that's done through the display, the way that the candidates' names are displayed, as well as the order in which they appear. New Jersey has a unique primary election ballot. The overwhelming majority of other states use what one can refer to as a bubble ballot, where the office that everyone's running for is listed, and all of the candidates that are running for that particular office are that follow immediately after. So you know exactly who is running for what office. New Jersey is the only state that organizes its ballot by columns of bracketed groupings of candidates, which just becomes very convoluted, leads to confusion of voters. You have situations where candidates that are running for the same office may be separated by numerous blank spaces. Favored candidates who are bracketed will receive preferential ballot position. And of course, the bracketed candidates tend to disproportionately be party-favored incumbents and political elites. County clerks have used their discretion to place other candidates far away in ballot Siberia. And this basically is a violation of my client's rights. It violates the First and 14th Amendments and corresponding provisions of the New Jersey State Constitution. It places an undue burden on the right to vote by tipping the scales in favor of certain candidates over others. It violates equal protection rights as it fails to treat similarly situated candidates for the same office equally. It also violates the freedom of association and more particularly the right not to associate by basically forcing candidates to bracket with other candidates and punishing them through ballot position if they do not. Now, this whole system that we have in New Jersey, it really just doesn't have to be this way. There are other states that use a bubble ballot format that is very simple and very fair. Other states use, for example, a rotational system where each candidate gets the first ballot position an equal number of times. Other states use a random draw where every candidate for the same office is included, so each candidate gets the same equal chance at the first ballot position. Other states don't have things like bracketing, a county line, the posturing and gamesmanship that accompanies those things. Other states don't have preferential ballot draws, don't give unfair advantages to certain candidates and disadvantage other candidates. Other states don't have things like ballot Siberia. So this is an issue that has been plaguing New Jersey voters and candidates for decades. And the hope is that this case can pave the way forward for future candidates as well. So it's necessary that we bring this to remedy the wrongs that have occurred and to restore faith in our democracy. I understand that there'll be some time for questions. Please understand that this is now an active case in litigation, and I may be very limited in what information I can share, but I'll send it back to Imani.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brett. And we do have so far one question from the press. The question reads, hasn't the question of the party line already been answered by the courts in that it permitted?
That's a very good question. So there have been lawsuits in the past that kind of speak to what is it that state statutes are saying and how is it that courts are interpreting them, and they've been applied to particular situations. There has not been this kind of large-scale constitutional challenge in the way that we're bringing this case. So it's kind of an issue of somewhat of an issue of first impression.
Awesome. And if there are no more questions, we can conclude here. Just checking, are there any more questions from the press? Awesome. All right. Well, Brett, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing this suit forward. And of course, we will all be keeping up with things as they unfold. And thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Imani. Thanks for having me.
No problem. You have a great night.
You too.